Good morning. I'd like to first start off by thanking everybody involved in the roster process. It's an all-encompassing thing. August is a pretty tough month for a lot of people, so I want to thank a lot of people in football operations, our coaches, everybody in this building who puts on a great training camp, and our players. These last couple of days, there's some hard conversations, but I can say that, given Kevin's culture and just the way he is as a leader in those rooms, I think we're honest with the players, and it always ends in a place of they love being in Minnesota, and that's a credit to what he's building here. The result of this roster is, this roster is a result of a really spirited training camp where we competed out there every day, and we feel like the result is a team, not just the 53, but a practice squad built to sustain this season for the long haul, and we're excited about that. And lastly, before I pass it off to Kev, I want to announce that we've agreed to terms with T.J. Hockenson, and excited about that. Like we've said this whole time, he fits our culture. He's the type of player that we want around here in Minnesota. We're really excited to get it done. Just want to thank his representatives, Kevin, Rob, Emily. A lot of people in this building do a lot of great work, a lot of late nights into this, and we're excited about that. And I'll pass it off to Kevin.
Yeah, thrilled, just to piggyback on that, thrilled to know we've got TJ here as a major part of our core on offense. I think when we got him really week 6 of last season, our hopes were that we were acquiring a player that would become a major part of our offense moving forward. We saw the immediate impact, and over those 10 games, 11 games, what he was able to do. We've been able to build on TJ's role here, really have a great process throughout the offseason of really what it's going to look like within our offensive system for a major player like TJ to be a part of it, and just knowing our young core that we do have, our quarterback, where he's at coming out of training camp. I'm very excited about our offensive side. And speaking of our quarterback, I did want to announce our 2023 captains. So we do have 8 of them again this year. Kirk Cousins, once again, was a unanimous vote getter, all but his own ballot. Justin Jefferson is a first-time captain this year. Brian O'Neill, Harrison Smith, Jordan Hicks, great to see his recognition as a leader from year 1 to year 2. Jordan's been phenomenal. Daniil Hunter is a captain this year. Very excited about Daniil and how his teammates view him. C.J. Ham, C.J. That was one of the cool moments, getting to tell the team post-practice yesterday. And the votes say one thing, and then it's confirmed by the team's reaction to CJ. And then Josh Metellus picking up right where he left off, where he was named an in-season captain last year at Brian O'Neill's request. So those 8 captains could not feel better about that group, in addition to the rest of our leadership council that I meet with pretty routinely. Those guys have helped me become a better head coach and really helped me grow from year 1 to year 2. Lastly, just earlier this week, it's always hits home for me from not only my personal experiences, but just the relationships you've developed with guys on this roster, all 90 of the guys that we had at different times throughout this offseason. It's never an easy process. It's one that I'm thankful I get to go through it with Kwesi, because he understands the culture that him and I have built here is one of about relationships. And if the relationships are important to us as they are, there's no more critical moment than when you're delivering the tough news that letting a player know you're no longer going to be part of what we're doing here, and the responses and the communication we get back. I always want to use those moments to better ourselves, our process, what we're doing here. But it also validates a lot of the things that we hope is part of the experience of being a Minnesota Viking for however long that may be. Just want to thank, haven't really had a chance to put a bow on training camp itself, but I want to thank all of our people here that help put on the training camp that we do here for our fans. 2 separate weeks of joint practice. A lot goes into planning that. And ultimately, from Tyler Williams and our sports performance group, with Josh and Uriah, Remy, everyone involved there, we feel like we've prepared our football team in every facet that we can as we start to really turn our focus to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then lastly, just our coaching staff, what Flo's been able to do to prime us to play the type of defense we want to play, and Wes and Matt picking up with the offense and defense and special teams where they've always done, which has been a really, really helpful leadership structure for me, in addition to Mike Pettin as our assistant head coach. But just a quick injury update. I know, outside of Kene, who, we were able to carry through and then put on injured reserve, gives him the opportunity at some point to work through his injury and ultimately maybe return to help us at some point. Don't want to put a timeline on that. And conversations with Kene, he's feeling better and better, and we'll continue to work through that and try to get him back with us at some point this year.
Kene, leg or upper body? I still don't think that we've been told what that.
Yeah, he's been dealing with really it's kind of been a low back thing. Something that's quite honestly. They're tricky sometimes, and the timing of it, that's why putting timelines on things can be, I believe, unfair to the player, because we want him to feel strong and ready to go to truly have his impact on our team that he's had, and we're working with Kene every single day on that, and our medical staff, we've got a good plan in place, and I think Kene knows that, and we're going to be with him every step of the way.
Kwesi, T.J. was not available for much of camp. Did you have any reason to think that unavailability is going to continue, were there not agreement?
I don't think there was ever any sense of quid pro quo or anything like that. I leave the players, the health, all those different things to Tyler and Kevin. And I know there's a business aspect of things. And ultimately, I can't tell you anything for certain, but I didn't view it as that at all. I just felt like there was a process that needed to play out, and ultimately it ended up here, and we're excited about that.
And that said, you guys expect him to be full go for week 1? Or?
Yeah, he was able to participate, pretty close to full yesterday, and that'll be the plan continuing moving forward. He's been working his way back slowly and had a great plan with Tyler and Josh on the side fields, and I feel like he's in great shape. He looked really good yesterday, and we'll just continue to progress him on a timeline leading into next Sunday so that he feels ready to go. But as of right now, I feel very good about TJ's chances of being available for the Tampa Bay game.
Kevin, with Kene out, who's your kickoff return to start?
Yeah, I think, Ty did some really good things, in training camp. Anytime he really had the ball in his hand, and I know he's comfortable back there. So I know he's going to get some opportunities. We're going to take a look at some other guys, now that we kind of know and can project, at least initially, what that 48 kind of looks like for next Sunday. But, I feel comfortable with Ty back there. I think he's earned the right, to get those first opportunities, and knowing Ty, I'm sure he's going to take it and run with it.
For both of you guys, what were the conversations like in terms of taking 6 safeties?
Yeah, I think, Kwesi and I had daily dialogue. That included dialogue with Flo. And I think we were talking about this the other day, but, from the interview process all the way through sitting down with Flo as he's kind of built this defense, you talk about the versatility and the multiple personnel groupings a lot. But then, as we talked about, when you start to see it and see what it looks like to have 3 safeties in the game, being able to play multiple versions of 5 DBs on the field based upon what we think is best to not only apply what we're doing schematically, but what those players' skill sets are, and then how carrying 6 safeties, benefits our special teams as well as the corners we do have in the game. I think it's an all-encompassing approach that's been really thought out, and then quite frankly, we do have a very strong belief in trying to keep the best 53 guys we can, and we feel like we did that with the types of training camps that really all 6 of those guys had.
Only thing I would add is that, you think about also 2 of those safeties have college experience playing cornerback at a really high level. So their ability to also influence the cornerback room, but also then in that dime role, helping the linebacker room. And for a GM, planning-wise, getting through this season, having players that are able to play multiple spots helps you throughout the long haul.